Hi, everybody. Welcome to our channel, Scientology, Peeling the Onion. My name is Mark Fisher, and I'm here with my co-host, Janis Gillham Grady. Janis, how are you doing today?
Good, Mark. G'day, everybody. And I haven't been on the show for a week. Well, no, actually, last week we did Larry, and I was in the
Right.
background because I was recovering from being sick. Anyway, you can hear it still in my voice, but I'm back, I'm alive, and I'm loving life. So,
That's good.
g'day.
And yeah, no, that's great. And then since we did that show with Larry, I mean, my mother had her 94th birthday party, and then
Yep.
I just weighed myself the other day. I'm down 47 pounds since the beginning of March.
Wow.
So I'm almost
Wow.
at 50 pounds gone, and I'm in great health and doing really well, and I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to be doing a video about my weight loss, and it's all been done with a doctor and all that type of thing. So I'll go over that with people on my other channel, Las Vegas
Yeah.
Travel More. But no, doing good, and Janis is doing better with her cold. And then you're leaving soon too, right? You're going to go on a cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going on a cruise, and I'm a little concerned because it's a 21-day cruise, which is, I like to do 1 or 2 weeks here and there, but 21 days, okay, I'm sure I can suffer through all those beautiful meals and having someone else make my bed,
Yeah.
so, and just kicking back. It'll be fun. So I always enjoy kicking back and taking time off, as you know.
Yeah, and you're going to be going from Seattle all the way down through the Panama Canal up to Miami. So and you're going to be out many
Yeah,
ports of call along with friends. You got other friends coming with you too. So that should be enjoyable.
right.
I'm trying to convince Janis to record along the trip just some short videos that she can then email to me, and then I'll be able to cut them into the videos that I'll be doing while she's gone, because I'll be holding down the fort. I've got some other shows that I'm going to do, hopefully that you guys will find interesting about my time in Scientology and all that. But I'll be here working away while Janis is having a good time.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to. I leave in just over a week,
Yeah.
so it'll be good. And yeah, you'll hold down the fort. But I wanted to do a short little video today just to say hello to everybody, and I'm still, pushing on the connection and get rid of the disconnect because it's just so destructive to families. And so I feel it's very appropriate to still push it. I know we have a lot of under the radar people that watch our show,
Mhm.
and I wanted to bring up, there's people who don't come out and talk on shows and speak out because they think it will cut their communication to their loved one who's in the Sea Org Scientology. But what they're not realizing or haven't realized is, in most cases, they're not connected anyway. They're already been disconnected from, or they're behaving and they're under the radar because they think if they come out, they won't be able to communicate to their loved one, but they're already not communicating to the loved one. And that happened with my dad, where my dad for years disconnected from us so that he could get Scientology services. And then they never gave him the services, and they just kept pulling money out of him, millions out of him, getting to donate for this and that and so forth. And, oh, your kids are SPs and you can't communicate with your kids. Oh, but then when I started speaking out and my brother started speaking out, that's when my father was pulled into Office of Special Affairs and told, you need to go and handle your son and your daughter because they're speaking out against us. Well, it had been 5 years we hadn't heard from our dad. And now he's on our doorstep to talk to us, to get us to stop speaking out. Well, that got him to communicate to us. And that cracked open the door for us to be able to talk to him and reconnect and be a family again. So I want people to really think about that. Uh, are you really in touch with that person? Or if you speak out, maybe they will contact you to get you to shut up, but it gives you a chance to at least talk to them and reconnect, even if it's just a little bit. It's better than nothing. But again, holidays are coming, so please send Christmas cards, birthday cards. Just work. There we go. There's our connection symbol. We have cups to promote connection.
And that's something you can send to people. And it doesn't have anything like anti-Scientology. It's just a heart with 2 arrows and says connection. And we have coffee mugs, we have T-shirts, and then there are links down below if you want to order them. But they'll be great gifts if you want to send them to people that you love.
Right. Now, I do have reports that OSA, Office of Special Affairs, they watch our show. They know about us. We're called The Onion. So there's one particular person I want to talk about today. And she's been in the Sea Org since she was 10 years old. On the ship, she's probably the youngest person that was sent there. And her dad was already on the ship. And he'd shown up on mission at Asher, and she was pretty much on her own. And, the usual people, Laurel and Kimma and Maria Starkey, kind of all take her under their wing because she's pretty much an orphan because her dad was on the ship. And her name was Valerie Schomer. And on the ship, people just called her Shorty because she was so short. But cute kid. And when her dad first joined the Sea Org, Valerie was put under the guardianship of Phil and Terry Spickler. They were mission holders in the San Jose area. I think Palo Alto. So there's Phil. Yeah, there's Phil. So he and his wife, Terry, took Valerie in and pretty much was raising her as their own with their own daughter, Mimi. And there she is holding, I think that was one of Spickler's kids, Randy. But that was Valerie when she was about 9 or 10 years old. And it was around that time she ended up on the Apollo where her dad was. Her dad's name is Homer Schomer. And Homer was in accounting on the ship. And he missed Val so much. And when she arrived, it was such a relief for him. And Mary Sue, I believe, got involved in helping get Valerie to the ship. She was always one for helping pull families together. And then Valerie, when we had the band later on, and the band did different carnivals and things like that, we actually, in one of the islands in the Caribbean, they built a float. And it was a float of the Apollo, and Valerie offered to be in the parade. And so there she is leading the float, the Apollo float. There she is in a Commodore's Messenger uniform because she actually was a Commodore's Messenger in training at the time of this photograph. But she was always the one who, if you needed a ring bearer for your wedding or a flower girl for your wedding, Valerie could always be counted on to do that. There she is. This is when Jill Gleason got married to Alan Buchanan. And in this picture on the left is John Horwich, who is the best man for Alan. And that's Jill Gleason when she was marrying Alan. Her original name was Jill Kostrom. She was Swedish. Now, I had a viewer actually call me. He tracked me down and called me and said, I must say where these people are now as I talk about them. So let me go back to John Horwich. John Horwich was married after this, I think, to Diana Hubbard. And he is the father of one of L. Ron Hubbard's granddaughters, Roanne. Anyway, John was on the ship for several years. And he was in charge of action, meaning he ran the various different troubleshooting missions that were out there. He actually at one time was the director of training. And as the director of training, he was over the tutor. So he was over my education. And he actually was the one that put a typing book in front of me and made me start practicing typing. And until at 15 years old, I was typing 80 words a minute.
Wow.
On a manual typewriter.
Right. Not electric. Yeah, it was manual.
Not electric. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so that's John, and he's still alive. He's not in Scientology. He is actually, I heard he was the #2 expert on the subject of jazz music in the US. And he's in that industry now. Anyway, so yeah, he's alive and kicking, but not in Scientology. And then Jill Costrom, Jill Buchanan, Jill Gleason. She was married to Carrie Gleason, who passed away at the end of last year. And I was with Jill in February for the celebration of life of her husband, of Carrie. And Jill actually came to the ship when she was about 19 years old, and it started off as a Commodore steward and didn't speak that great English, but she, she got better as time went on, and she actually moved up in rank to where she was the staff captain. So she was over all of Hubbard's aides. So it was Hubbard at the top, and then it was Jill. She was the top of, it was more of the equivalent of Executive Director International. So she ran all the aides. Anyway, that's her marrying Alan Buchanan. Alan, he's passed away. He passed away many years ago.
Yeah.
In New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he had friends like Chris Spear and Vicky Spear and so forth. They were all with him when he passed. But Alan was a good guy. I did a mission to Washington, D.C. with Alan. Anyway, so at that time, his job was probably Commodore staff #1. So he was over all of HCOs, or he could have been a mission ops at that time. And then behind him is Tony Dunleavy. Tony at this time was married to Kimma Douglas, Kimma Dunleavy. And that's Kimma with laughing back there. And Tony was also a staff captain. And he passed away. He left the Sea Org probably in the early 80s and lived in Florida. And he passed away just within the last 2 years, I believe. And in front there is Valerie, who, I'm sorry I got into everyone else, but Valerie, who's this is all about. But Valerie's there. As I said, you need a flower girl, Valerie was there. And then on the right-hand side is Ken Urquhart. Ken was Hubbard's communicator, personal communicator. And after he left the Sea Org in the 80s, he became an independent Scientology auditor. And I believe he still practices that today. He lives in Scotland now. And we actually we did a bunch of interviews with him.
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, they're on our channel. I have them all to group together as a playlist, but he was a Hubbard's butler at St. Hill, and then his personal staff or personal communicator. But anyway, yeah, they're available. So if anybody wants to hear his story, it's there.
Right. So there you have it. Those are the people in this photograph, who they were and where they are now. So anyway, so Valerie, flower girl in this one. And the next picture, again, is one of her as a flower girl. Well, actually, she's not being much of a flower girl. She's just toasting with everybody. Yeah. But it's just a cute picture of Valerie and how cute she was. Those were the days she was called Shorty. And left to right, left in the white shirt.
Blouse, yeah.
With the froth, can't think of it, the sleeves. Anyway, that's Nancy Tidman. That's Annie Broker's older sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we called her and Annie, everyone called them both Titty because their name was Tidman. So we called her Titty or Nancy, or we called Annie or Titty. So it was like, you didn't know which one you were talking about. They both had the same nickname. And then next to her in the red dress, that's Liz Ausley. And she was mostly in the port captain's office. And she's still alive today. Oh, both Nancy and Liz are out of Scientology. They left back in the 70s, I believe, in the late 70s from Clearwater. Both of them had escape stories. So maybe we'll get those one day. And then the gentleman there in the gray suit, that's Dave Englehart. Dave, I believe, is still in the Sea Org.
Right.
And yeah, but he grew up sailing. And when we hit the Caribbean, he got LRH's permission to go up to the east coast of the
Like New
U.S.
Jersey.
at
Yeah,
New
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey, and pick up his sailboat, the
The
Laissez
laissez-faire.
Faire. And he sailed that down. He was looking for sailors, people to sail with him. And this one auditor, a Dutch girl, Leekie Halders, she offered to sail down with him. And so they sailed down. They hit a storm, and he actually was washed off the side of the ship. But lucky he had a rope on him so that she could pull him back in. But they had quite a few adventures there. And then the bride in this is Lynn Visk. At the time, her name was Lynn Moore, and she was Hubbard's personal secretary. And she definitely typed more than my little 80 words a minute. And she did a lot of transcribing. She did the answers for the LRH letters and that type of thing.
Right.
And she was marrying Bob Fisk. And Lynn and Bob, they both left Scientology again from Clearwater, but they went on the cruise with me last year. They celebrated their 50th anniversary. They had originally they'd gotten married when we were in Lisbon 50 years ago, now 51 years ago. So it was very appropriate. They came on the cruise with us, and we did a renewal of vows when we were on our little cruise ship. And we were in Lisbon, and we went to Morocco, just, a bunch of the old ports we'd gone to. So that was fun, hanging out with Bob and Linny again. And then on the right there is Foster Tompkins. That's Sterling Tompkins' dad.
Oh.
And you and I had already done an interview with Sterling and Jeff Hawkins talking about Foster, who is still in Scientology. I don't know what he does anymore in the Sea Org. He used to run, I heard he was running the mill where they make furniture for all the ideal orgs and so forth. But I don't even know if the mill still exists or how that all works anymore. But Foster used to be, he set up INCOM, the whole computerization of the Sea Org and management and the orgs and Scientology. Yeah. And there was a lot of communications between him and Hubbard on Chug. Anyway, I know we covered all that when we talked about Foster earlier. Anyway, and there's little Valerie. So, all right. So anyway, Valerie, 10 years old, shows up on the ship. And she does also end up in the RPF and the Rehabilitation Project Force as a young child. And she has to audit someone. I heard that she had actually enjoyed doing the RPF. Now, and then when we ended up in Clearwater, Valerie, of course, probably by that time was maybe 13 years old. So she had to go to school in Clearwater. So she went to school with Shelley Miscavige, Shelley Barnett at the time, Mark Yeager, Julie Catano Fisher, all those younger kids under 16 all had to go to school, and Valerie was one of those. Anyway, so then over the years, she ended up getting married to a guy called Stanton Page.
Right.
And became Valerie Page or Val Page. And then I heard she was on the Uniform Project, and she was there for years. Everybody knew Val because they had to go to her for their uniforms. So, and throughout this whole time, while we were on the ship, she was connected with her dad, and in Clearwater, she was connected with her dad. But then her dad ended up, Homer, at Author Services. And he was doing accounting and stuff like that. Anyway, he ended up, I don't know what report was sent up on him, but Hubbard got pissed off at him about something. And so, of course, Miscavige tries to get all the ASI executives to line up and spit at Homer. And I remember my sister, she was just absolutely disgusted. The DM came up to her and said, why aren't you getting in line and spitting at him with everyone else? And she's like, I'm not going to spit at him. You know, that's just not what Scientology was about, on how you treated people. That's so disrespectful. Even if Hubbard said spit at him, you don't spit at him. You take it that that's just an expression he's using because he's pissed off about something, but you don't take it literal like that. Anyway, so Homer actually ends up leaving Scientology and the Sea Org after years of dedication, and he got involved in a lawsuit. And so,
Against
of course,
Scientology, right? Against Hubbard and
yeah, well,
Scientology.
yeah, I think it was the Jerry Armstrong lawsuit. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into all
It
that.
may have been the Tanya Burt. I don't know. May have been with Michael J. Flynn. I don't remember, but yeah,
Yeah,
he was involved in something.
yeah, I never really got into any of that, and I haven't talked to Homer about it, and Homer's not allowed to talk about it anyway, from the rumors that I've heard. So anyway, Homer ended up being declared, and so here we are. What, I've been out of the Sea Org 34 years now. So Homer, longer than that, has not communicated with his daughter Valerie, because he's been declared. And anytime I get news on Valerie, I always shoot it over to Homer. You know, he's still got his fatherly love, and he misses his daughter, but she's still in the Sea Org, and she's still brainwashed, and she doesn't communicate with him. And I asked some people if they could kind of snoop around and see if they could find any indications of where Valerie is. And this was a few years ago, and she was still doing uniforms. And I got this photograph of Valerie. Here she is. All these years later, she's probably in her 60s now, early 60s, and still working away. There she's taking trash out. That was the only way to get the photograph of her. But yeah, she's still there. And her daughter, born in the Sea Org, still in the Sea Org there. Her ex-husband, Stanton, I know he has a Clearwater address, so he's not in the Sea Org anymore. But my whole point of this, it's so sad that, because the head of Scientology has an issue with people being family members, that Homer and Valerie have been kept disconnected for all these years. Homer's never even met his granddaughter, who's got to be 30, late 30s, 40s
Yeah,
now.
right.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
And all it takes, is someone who knows Valerie. Get her a message. Let her know her dad loves her. And she doesn't have to go and visit him. Just draw him a little letter, put it in the post saying, Dad, I think of you nearly every day, but I can't, but she's brainwashed, and she has her own thoughts and thinks that she'll, ruin her eternity if she ever talks to her dad again, because he's such an SP, but he's not. He's a sweet guy that I've known Homer for nearly 50 years, for over 50 years. And he's a great guy. And all he wants is just to hear something from his daughter. So
Yeah, I was gonna say
anyone,
he's elderly now too. I mean, he's still healthy,
yeah.
but I mean, he's got to be in his late 70s or 80s, right? I
Oh,
mean,
he's in his 80s. He's got to be in his 80s.
and
Yeah.
he remarried, right? Doesn't he? Yeah, he has a wife. I've met
Yeah,
her.
he has a wife. Yeah. Yeah. But he's got 90 years. And it's just like the Barton situation, where they're disconnected. They don't hear any news. And we never did find Andrew Barton, who I attempted to find for a long time. And we did have success hooking a dad and a daughter up through using our YouTube channel. So I'm just hoping again that one of our viewers knows Valerie and can get a message to her or from her. Just from the dad, just saying, Dad, I love you, but per my beliefs, I can't talk to you, but I do think of you. Just something like that. That can go a long way for, to put a smile on someone's face and make them happy.
That's right. No, absolutely. And connection is what we're preaching here. Not disconnection. I mean, tearing people apart is not what Scientology should be about, and it's not what the world is about. I mean,
Right.
when it's all said and done, you have your family. You know, your family is who you have when it's all said and done. And the
Right.
fact that Scientology tears people away from it is a terrible thing.
And what these Scientologists don't realize is it's because of disconnection that is what gives them the worst PR, because they don't let people connect. They don't let families be families. They don't let Sea Org members go and take a leave of absence because it's so urgent we clear the planet, and that we needed to have that done in 5 years. But that was back in 78 when that 5-year timeline was put there. Hello? You know, let's reconnect. Let's let families be together. It'll save a lot of present time problems, and it would resolve a lot of potential trouble source situations by letting families connect. And you just, even if you disagree with someone being a Scientologist, you don't have to discuss that.
Right.
Just be a family. Just be a family. Just be together. Have fun. Enjoy life.
Right. That's a
Yeah.
great message. That's a great message, Janis. Well, that's what we wanted to talk about today. And then also, you know, we also want to mention too, uh, Koala Calm, right? We want to talk about the product. Now that we've gotten
Koala,
to the end of it.
come. Where is it? There it is.
There it is. Just
Uh,
you want to go ahead, this you know, your company Koala Calm sponsors our channel or whatever, so if you want to go ahead and
yeah.
talk about that product, it'd be great.
My company, Outback Naturals, I've kept only a few products, key products like Koala Calm and CalMag, and they're all on the magnesium line of things. And I have a few other things, one called Plant Source Minerals, which is humates, and helps with a lot of gut problems. But Koala Calm is for anti-stress, and magnesium is probably the most important mineral the body needs, and it helps with cramps and relaxation and stress and all those
Sleeping
things.
too, right?
Sleeping, all those things that people have problems with, even calcium deposits, or too much calcium. The magnesium helps break that down and get the body to assimilate it and move it through. So I highly recommend Koala Calm. I know my dad is well known for his calm products, and my Koala Calm is made with 2 different magnesiums rather than one in comparison. So of course I do. And my dad actually was still alive when I put this together, and he totally endorsed it. And I have to say it's a better product than what was out there. And
And it comes in
yeah,
2 flavors, right?
yeah, it comes in plain and it comes in apple cinnamon. So if you like that flavor of a spice, of a cinnamon, with apple during the holidays, at night with the fire going and that type of thing, and you sipping away on an apple spiced, apple cinnamon drink. So I do
And
highly
you
recommend
mix
it.
it with hot water, right? In other words, how do
Yeah,
people drink it?
I just heat up half a cup of hot water, and then I add whatever I needed, usually about a teaspoon, um, to the drink, and it fizzes away, and I let that fizz down, and then I add a little cool water or warm water, and then I just sip on it and drink it while it's still hot. And then I also take some vitamin B1 with it, and it helps me sleep better.
Now, how about the
And
unflavored? Can that be mixed with other like juices or what? You know, if that kind of thing,
yes,
or yeah.
yes, you can mix it with all sorts of different things. A lot of people do that. And you can even, my dad in his older age used to just add the magnesium to his bottle of water. And then throughout the day, he'd just be sipping on his magnesium water.
That's good. Now, how
Yeah.
long will one of those, can't hold it up again? How long will that last normally? If they do it every day, is it about a month's supply or what is it?
Yeah. It's got 60 servings, I believe. So it's
Oh, a
like
couple
2 months.
months.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a link down below, right below. You can just click on it. You can order it from our merchandise store, Qualcomm, and we'll get it shipped out to you. Janice will ship it out to you, and in the U.S., right? Is that where we're sending?
Yeah, in the U.S. Yeah, or yeah, they can go on Amazon and order it if they want it from another country. You know, and that way I'm not dealing with international shipping.
Yeah. And then also, of course, we've got the Connection merchandise that we talked about, which you can buy for Christmas, send it to people. We've got the coffee mug. This is like a drink, it's got a straw, like for cold and hot drinks. We've got t-shirts as well. And those are great gifts for the holiday season to send to people that you love, that you want to reconnect with, which is what we were talking about earlier. And there's links down below if you're interested in ordering any of that stuff.
Right. Now, I'm going to let out a secret. And if you've watched this whole video to this point, I would really get a kick out of it if you're in the comments section, you say liquid vitamins. My secret is I've been working on a liquid vitamin because as you get older, people, have trouble swallowing pills. So it was a project Paul and I were working on together of coming up with a liquid vitamin that was tasty and had everything in it. And I finally nailed down a flavor and we've got it all worked out. And we've got the bottles and it's going into production. It's happening. The label's being done up. So when I get back from the cruise, I should be releasing it. But yeah, I'd love to see if you got to this part of the tape. And if you did, just say liquid vitamin.
And then that's like it's like a multivitamin, right?
Yes, it's a multivitamin. So instead of daily packs of vitamins, which we do sell in my dad's old store, Peter Gillham's Life Essentials, or Vites.com, VITES. We sell daily vitamin packs, but instead of taking those, you just take a couple of swigs, 2 tablespoons of liquid vitamins.
That sounds great.
Peach. It'll be a peach flavor.
Oh, okay. I know you tried different flavors, right?
Yeah. We settled on the peach.
That's great. Okay, great. Well, we thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, hit the notification button. It helps get the message out to other people. Also, if you have any questions or comments, Liquid Vites, go down below.
There you go.
Comment. We check them. We answer them. We'd love to hear it. And also any comments on this video, we would love to hear that from you. Also, if you'd like to support our channel, there's a link in the description where you can buy us a coffee. Just click on that link and you can buy us. It's a way of donating to the channel and it helps support us. So we really appreciate that. Janice, have you got anything else that you want to talk about or say before we go ahead and end off here?
Just reconnect. Please connect, and have a good day.
Yeah, and then also I should mention too, we're going to do some more videos before Janice leaves on her cruise. We've got a couple other people that we're going to be interviewing, so look forward to those as well.
Right.
Until next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.